when you frequently label yourself as either a depressed person or a person who has a bad relationship with God or whatever it may be, that label can start to feel like a core identity rather than a temporary state. And once something becomes identity basis, your brain pays more attention to things that's going to support it and ignores any evidence that contradicts it. And this is what we call a self-fulfilling prophecy in psychology. Let's take the belief that someone says, for example, I am depressed, right? Okay, that is their belief. In psychology, we understand that a belief is followed with behavior that reinforces the belief. So it keeps you in a loop. So if that person is saying, I'm depressed, right? Because you are telling yourself, I am depressed, you will start acting in a manner that will align accordingly. So you may withdraw yourself from society, you may stay in your room all day, you may not eat or eat too much, etc., right? And as a result, you will have low energy, you will have no friends because you've withdrawn yourself from everyone, and you will have less pleasure in things because you are taking yourself out of an environment where you might feel pleasure, right? And then as a result of this, your brain will say, see, I told you I'm depressed. And it will understand, okay, this is a belief, this is my behavior, this is the result. I am a depressed person. You need to understand that the label doesn't cause depression. Okay, so you telling yourself, I am depressed, is not what causes you to be depressed. However, it can keep you in a loop. If you're in a depressive state and you keep reinforcing to yourself, I am depressed, no matter how you feel, what will happen is you will again withdraw yourself, you will again do the things that your depressed state would do, which will then reinforce your depression. And language affects the brains. There's so many studies that's been done about this. Please look into it. The way you speak to yourself matters. This is why Allah says, Allah does not change the conditions of a servant until they change what is within themselves. Start with the thoughts and feelings you have. Start with the behavior you are engaging in. Words aren't neutral. Words make you feel something, and that feelings will create actions, and actions will dictate your life. So be careful with the things you are telling yourself. There's research done that literally shows that the way you speak to yourself and your language will contribute to your emotional regulation, your emotional processing, and your attention. Okay, so now let's talk about how to talk to yourself in order to create a new state or to create a new identity. Identity language is saying things I am. Okay, that is an embodiment. So I am depressed, I am anxious, I am broke, I am unmotivated, whatever it may be. Anything you say after I am contributes to your identity. So be very mindful with what you are telling yourself. Instead of saying I am depressed, switch to a states language. Talk about your state. There is a feeling of depression right now that I'm experiencing. There's a tightness in my chest instead of I am anxious. Whatever it may be, get into your body. How is the body feeling? The body is feeling like, really separate the two things. Instead of I am depressed, there is a feeling of sadness I'm experiencing right now, or I'm feeling this sadness, I'm feeling this depression right now, you know. Second option creates a psychological distance, and this distance really matters. It activates problem solving and it will reduce your rumination. Of course, labeling in some situations can help. They're not evil. If you are a person that struggles with depressive feelings every single day and you have depression, then having a label for that can really help, because then now you know, okay, I'm a depressed person, I'm experiencing depression, what can I do, right? But the key difference here is identity versus experience. A healthier mindset would be, okay, my body has learned to deal with the situation through depression, but I'm learning to heal. But a riskier mindset is depression is who I am. To understand that the same way you can resort to these coping mechanisms like depression or anxiety and all these things, right? The same way you can get out of it. There is no sickness in this life without treatment or medicine for it, without healing, you know? So by labeling yourself as a depressed person and then that's it, there's less room for problem solving, there's more room for rumination, and more room for victim mindset. When you switch to, okay, this may be what I'm experiencing, but it's temporary, now your brain is coming up with solutions. The minute you go from problem to solution is the minute your life will change, because instead of sitting in the experience that you do not want, you will find a way out of it. So if the label in itself is not the problem, the real question becomes, how do we change the inner conditions that keep the cycle going? Because, for example, depression or anxiety or anything you may be identifying with right now, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It usually grows in uncertain places, in environments shaped by stress, isolation, pain. But the powerful thing about all of this is that your environment and your inner environment can change. It won't happen overnight, and it won't happen by pretending everything is okay when it's not. But if you slowly introduce new thoughts, new beliefs, new narratives, new inputs to the mind and to the heart, everything will change. If you have something within you that you want to change and you want to improve, then I recommend you to start writing. This is something that personally really helped me, and I know it can help you too. I started keeping a journal consistently and writing in it every single time I wanted to talk and connect to God. And I would talk about all of the conditions within me that I was really struggling with. If I was struggling with a bad mental health, I would talk about that. If I was struggling with a scarcity mindset, I would talk about that. Anything like bad relationship with God, even anything, I would write it down. This journal was a place that I could talk to Allah honestly. I didn't filter anything. I just spoke everything that was on my mind. Keeping a journal really helps release the emotions and thoughts within you that is not serving you. It helps move them along. I also created a dua journal that you can use within yourself that has questions that will help you change your inner conditions and change your relationship with God. This journal is also part of your sadaqah. So with each purchase, a percentage goes to charity. Not only will you be helping yourself, but you'll be helping your ummah too. If you cannot afford this journal, then that's okay. I'm going to give you a few questions that you can ask yourself and write in your own journal. Even if you have a piece of paper, that will work too. And reflect on these questions, and it will really help your mental health. Write your dua, whatever it is. So for example, I want good mental health, or if you're praying for a spouse, I want a husband or a wife. If you're praying for a good relationship with God, I want this, I want that, right? But reflect on Allah's 99 names first. Oh Allah, you're the best provider, so please provide me with this amount of money. The next question that I want to ask you is, what conditions must you change within yourself to receive this? If you're a person, for example, that wants a certain amount of money, are you looking for jobs? Do you have a job? Is there a way you can get this money? Are you leaving your house? Are you, do you have space in the bank for it? Mentally and physically prepare yourself to receive that money. Allah says, tie your camel, then trust Allah. So do your action, do the parts, and then trust God, right? So what do you have to change within yourself to receive this? If you're trying to get a loving wife or a loving husband, are you a loving person yourself? All of the expectations of your significant other can you do for yourself? Are you a person that you would even want to marry? If you're a person experiencing depression, feelings of depression right now, are you leaving your room? Are you eating clean? Are you socializing? Are you working out? Like, are you praying your 5 prayers, Go to the foundation, the very basic things first. Make sure you're doing the basic things first, and then slowly you can incorporate other things into your life. The next question that I want to ask you is, what thought processes and beliefs do you have regarding this dua? For example, do you believe that you are not worthy of love, that you are not worthy to be married? Do you believe that money is hard to make, that God will not provide for you? Do you believe that you'll be depressed for the rest of your life? Like, write down the beliefs that you have that may block you from experiencing a different reality. Allah does not change your conditions until you change it within yourself. If you believe that Allah will not provide for you, you are blocking the doors for His provision. If you believe that you will not get better, how can your body start to heal? How can your mind start to heal? Believe in God. If you don't believe in yourself, believe full-heartedly that God can change your condition like this. Believe in Him. And the last question that I want to ask you is, what thought process would the version of me whose dua has been accepted have? What would they think regarding the money, regarding the spouse? You know, would they believe that money is hard to make, or would they be in gratitude because Allah has provided them with what they need and more? Would they think that they are not worthy of love, or would they thank God for the love that they have and continuously pour into the people around them? Think like the person who has already gotten what you want would think. Start like this, because your brain cannot differentiate thought from reality. If you prepare yourself mentally and physically for the life you want to have, and then you pray for it, if it is for your highest good, you will have that life, inshallah. These are just a few of the questions. Again, this is the When You Had Decided journal. I will put the link in my bio, inshallah. Hopefully these few questions can help you, and there are many more of these questions in this journal that will help you change your inner conditions and change your relationship with God, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. I really hope this video helped. Bye.